Hello, listeners! A brief word at the top of the show to let you know that you can now support the Indiana Jones Minute on Patreon. Just go to indianajonesminute.com/Patreon, and in addition to our eternal thanks, if you pledge at the Club Obi-Wan level or higher, you'll receive access to our bonus show for patrons, Anything Goes, where we'll be taking deep dives into all the other movies you love, starting with a possible contender for the best Spielberg movie over Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jaws. So thanks in advance for helping us to support the show that you love, this show, the one that's about to start right now.
Indiana Jones, Indiana Jones, Indiana. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute, the podcast where we get to the heart of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom 1 minute at a time. I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm Pete Mummert.
I'm Gerald Christopher One Scream Porter.
And we are joined again today by our old friend Jamie Benning of Filmumentary fame. Welcome back, Jamie.
Hello from England.
Hello!
Hey.
You're coming through clear through that tin can with the string on it. That's awesome. Welcome back, and welcome to Minute 84. Hey, this movie came out in 84. Look at us. Zero significance to that. Anyway, this minute begins with Willie screaming as she's lowered in a cage toward the lava, and it ends with Indy claiming, "He's mine!" and grabbing Shorty.
Well, I like it starts again with the Vader quote, with the Vader no. And then, Jamie, you mentioned that the lava vortex looked kind of like the galaxy at the end of Empire Strikes Back. And I think at the beginning here, the vortex looks almost exactly like the Disney movie, The Black Hole, when the Cygnus is flying towards the black hole. This lava,
God, yeah.
When they're flying towards a lava vortex.
Yeah.
Was that movie any good?
You would hate that movie, Jerry. You'd hate it.
It was good when you're like 7 years old, 5 years old, whenever it came out. I don't know if
I
it's
kind of
good.
like it now, but it's
I do too.
super weird.
Well, it came out in what, 1979, I think?
Something like that.
Maybe 80. I'm not sure. Yeah.
And then the whole movie, somebody told me once, probably at a sleepover, like, oh yeah, the whole movie they're going towards this black hole, and then they go through the black hole, and it's like, meh.
Yeah.
And by the way, I fell asleep by then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember some distant relative buying me the black hole action figures because, he likes those space toys, doesn't he? What is this?
Here's a Star Wars.
Yeah.
Here's a Star War.
Did Ernest Borgnine have an action figure of that?
Oh, I hope so.
I don't know. I got the little robots.
Yeah, the little robots are awesome. There's like the one guy was all dented up.
Yeah.
I kind of like Short Ryan's face here 4 seconds in. He's like, I'm back here again? The geography in this place is screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is that seconds 7 and 8, we see Indy standing proudly before the entire Temple of Doom congregation, and Mola Ram is, he's presenting him. Like, Mola Ram's arm is outstretched, like, here's your new leader.
Oh, yeah, I never saw that. Yeah, that's awesome.
His arm is actually...
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, he's introducing Indiana Jones, and, I'm wondering, do you think Indy is going to take a new name, now that he's baptized into the Temple of Doom? Like, we had, like, the Apostle Peter was originally Simon before he started following Jesus, and, like, Paul was Saul, and I don't really believe that Mola Ram is Mola Ram's God-given name.
Probably not.
Yeah, I think he was...
So what do you have a name in mind that you think Indy would take?
Henry.
I don't know.
Or would he be like Pancott Jones, or would he...
Sure.
Just the dog, in inverted commas.
Yeah. He slugs Short Round here. Just backhands him.
Oh,
Yeah.
right before he does that, though, I think maybe, Jamie, you know about this. It looks like there's a scene that got cut here because Shorty's running across the stage to Indy, and there's one of the guards is doubled over and the other one's lying on the ground, and it looks like Shorty just fought these two guys.
Yeah.
I think there's a whole little melee.
Yeah, the one guard is holding his left arm.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
I
He's
had noticed
definitely getting up from something there, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like Shorty just fought his way across the whole stage, which is I love.
really
It's
funny.
awesome.
Yeah.
Were we denied more sort of 5 out of 10 kung fu? I mean, the film needed more.
Yeah, I would love to know the reason for cutting some of this stuff. It's really weird.
Yeah. And
Because
it's,
they must have seen like, oh well, this will look weird because those guys are like, yeah, that guy's holding his wrist, that guy's on the floor, but well, we'll go with it because we have to get rid of this shot for this reason. Like, I don't know why that would have been. That's weird.
Well, they cut it in such a way though, like I've never noticed it until I watched it really
That's
with a
true,
very
me
close
neither.
watching. So
Yeah.
I guess you just never pick up on it. But when you see it, you can't not see it. Like Shorty obviously
Right.
did some damage to these guys.
Yeah,
It's that kind of
Which
editor's instinct, isn't it? It's like, they'll never know. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
trust me.
that's always amazing. But yeah, he tries to get Indy. He's like, Indy, come on. Like, I guess. Oh, that's kind
He
of.
calls him Dr. Jones. He's very formal.
He does, but I'm just thinking about it now. Doesn't he know? He saw Indy get drugged. He knows that he's, not himself, doesn't he? Like he should. Like it seems like he's surprised that Indy just doesn't immediately come with him, and he's a little miffed that he slugs him and knocks him to the ground.
Yeah.
I assumed that Stephen and George were watching the Cannonball Run in a bad mood and kind of said, yeah, we need sidekicks slapping each other, but a darker version.
You work for Burt Reynolds?
The
It'll
Dom
work for us.
DeLuise.
Yeah. Could be. And Shorty's face is immediately streaming with tears.
Yeah, he gets a proper
Yeah.
whack there,
Yeah.
doesn't he?
Yeah. And he looks so betrayed. Like like this little kid with his giant heart just fought off the entire thuggy army to get here. And then his new best friend just, backhands him across the face and sends him flying.
Yeah.
Harrison's face
that's
at
rough.
19 seconds reminds me of the "he's my brother" moment in Return of the Jedi. So, that kind of dumb face he pulls.
It totally is.
Oh, I get to hit kids in this movie? That's a fantastic realization.
what I notice is that there's like a whole nother flapestry display
Yeah.
that we haven't seen
Yeah.
yet
Yeah.
before. It's like a
Yeah.
slimmer variety.
Right.
Yeah.
They seem to be on both sides of the.
Yeah.
If I'm reading the stage right, I'm always confused by where I am on the stage.
It's really disgusting on this particularly flapestry. It's like the legs and feet are dangling.
Oh,
There's barely a shot without fire, steam, skin, arms. I mean, every shot is just full of this grim iconography.
well, it is a Temple of Doom. Let's be fair.
I can't get past this Han Solo with the brother thing now, because now like I'm looking at this picture and he's obviously, when he's thinking of that line, he's thinking of punching Shorty. So I think that's what he's thinking of doing to Luke.
Yeah. Why that
I
little
saw
whelp.
him you kiss him.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I was saying a few minutes ago that like I'm not totally on board with the whole Indy zombie thing, and when he hits Shorty, like it's. I mean, I guess it has to get to this point maybe or something dramatically, but it still feels weird. It's like, what are we doing? Why is Indiana Jones evil, and why is he hitting kids? And and it feels weird to me. It always feels like a kind of like side movie that's going on inside the movie or something. And that's all I have to say about it. I don't have any conclusions or anything. I'm weirded out by it.
It's the darkest part of the movie in terms of, I don't know, I guess just the nadir of like everything has gone to shit. No matter how hard you try, as Pete, you said, you just fight off every thuggy guard and you finally escape your chains and you make it up to the, altar and,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
you reach Indiana Jones
And what do you get?
yeah, and what do you get?
A knuckle sandwich.
So, yeah.
And
Yeah.
the sound of it, like it's that cannon sound when he hits him, like he really rocks him.
Yeah.
It's unnecessary. I suppose.
Yeah. I wonder if, like, in the script originally, like, just boots him into the lava. And you're like, well, we can't go that. Let's walk it back a little bit. He just punches him as hard as he can. Just punches a little kid. Our hero, Indiana Jones.
second 22, you can see Chatelaw on the right of the frame, can't you? Just
Tell me
standing
about it.
there. I mean, I didn't even know he was there for this whole scene. You know, it's like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
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 He's been like present in the scene and he said stuff, but yeah, you could easily as a kid,
Just forget,
as a teenager,
you
I
forget
was like,
he's there,
really?
don't you?
Yeah, completely.
That's the same guy. Yeah, Jared called him like Chatter Lot or something. He's his brother or something.
I'll say you forget he's there whether you're a kid or an adult. But so this guard gets burned. Short Round burns the guard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so does the guard snap out of the Khalid curse? And he's like, "Oh my God, I left the stove on."
Yeah.
Or is that why the cage stops? See, I'm wondering.
Yeah, I don't know.
So the guard
Yeah.
gets burned, and then the cage stops, and Willie is, stuck there. And I'm wondering, is that because the guard has awakened and is now like, stormtroopers here? I must tell the others. Oh no, I've been shot. And so
But it
is
happens,
now he team Indy, and does why? What else would explain the cage stopping?
Well, it's like instantaneous. Like he doesn't
Yeah.
that would make sense, but it doesn't. There's no time for that to happen. Like he gets burned
Yeah.
and falls back, and then the cage stops.
So
And
does
they're
he fall on the? Does he fall on the wooden wheel so that it stops?
Doesn't look like it, does it? But I think
No.
we're to assume that, again, it's probably that they'll never notice. Who's
Yeah.
going to do a podcast that, breaks this down minute by minute?
Yeah.
Well, the other thing,
This is-
he's a mime. So if you singe a mime, he might just be evil anyway. Like he might just be a bad guy
Oh,
all
that's
the way
true.
through.
Oh yeah. Well, I thought you were
not
gonna
gonna
say
wake-
he's like he has the power of mime, and he can mime stopping the wheel,
But he
like
can't
as he's
actually
falling
stop
back
it.
and stuff, and it'll still work. Yeah.
But we do see one of those guys in a couple minutes lying face down, like with blood on his back, and I wonder if he turned good and tried to fight off another guard, and then like he got killed there. So maybe he did turn good.
Oh. Maybe. This is tricky.
Yeah.
The rules are weird, if there are any.
As an animal lover, I kind of just hope he ran right up to the kitchen and is like opening all the cages and letting the monkeys out. And,
Yeah. Into the forest. Yeah, I should say, we've talked about how there's the cut scene of Shorty discovering that, discovering fire, discovering that, the fire will snap people out of the Kali blood trance. But this is a case, where this makes complete sense without that scene. Like, you can see him just like, oh, this is just, I accidentally cured Indy or something, I mean, he doesn't get there yet, but he's like, attacking people with a torch, and it just happens to have that effect later on.
yeah, but how does he know to do it to Indy? Like, how does he know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need that. No, we need that scene.
Yeah,
George,
I think we do
Stephen, we need that scene. Otherwise, he's killing Indiana Jones with a torch.
But did that? I mean, I'm just like you say, Pete. Like if you don't have it pointed out to you, it doesn't seem weird. Like with those guards who are like doubled over and stuff, because you don't notice it before. I never had trouble like understanding this scene. I never like said.
Yeah, it's true. It's like the don't look at the arc scene. Like it, you
Yeah,
just kind of
yeah.
you just kind of intuitively get it.
But you're right. Now when you're like, wait, why is he like deliberately like jabbing at Indiana Jones with a flaming torch?
Yeah. Now
That
the
is-
arc,
okay, maybe
the
that's
arc
weird.
one though, you kind of give it to him because you're like, that one I understand because first of all, Indiana Jones is smart and he kind of he's studied enough of the history than maybe Mo and Joe Nazi, and you're thinking, maybe the one thing it's dawning on him, okay, the one thing that is probably going to keep me out of trouble is being sort of respectful or penitent or humble or showing some humility. I get that, but here you're like, I don't understand what's going on. Why would Short Round know that that's how you break the spell?
Yeah. Or maybe it's like Willie spitting in his face. He's just desperate. He's trying anything. He's like tried
Yeah.
like grabbing him and pleading with
Yeah.
him, and now he's like, well, maybe I'll set fire to him. Maybe that'll get him to like me. I don't know.
It
I'm
would
a
make
kid, I'll try
perfect
anything.
sense had they just kept the scene. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although, I mean, as that scene is described, it sounds kind of goofy.
It does sound
Maybe, I
kind of
don't know.
goofy. Yeah.
And like maybe it would slow things down a little bit.
The picture looks pretty cool, though, the guy dancing around with his legs on fire.
You love that stuff. You're
I mean,
sick.
they just need to explain something. I don't know what it is. It doesn't have to be a goofy scene. It's just
Right.
somewhere you need to know that Short Round discovers that fire, or somebody tells him. I don't know. Maybe the kid. Maybe when they talk about, if you drink the blood, you become like them. And the
Unless.
unless yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love
My
Indy's
7-year-old
fake
brain
evil
is
voice.
happy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if it worked for 40 years, then maybe it's okay.
Yeah.
I love Indy's fake evil voice here.
Yeah, no, it's funny.
Yeah.
But I'm always
He's
like,
mine.
oh, wait. Like, no other drugged... Like, during his whole drug thing, he's just been very, I'm a zombie. I am, like, kind of, B-movie, spacey, kind of under control of something. But then, like, you never hear any, like, collie drugged people being like, "Rah, he's mine, back off." Like, wouldn't the guards be like, wait a minute, he's not authentically
They should have known it anyway because he pronounces his S clearly.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
He's mine.
He no longer lisps. Oh my god.
I do have to say though, in a movie that has a lot of like little moments of really dark violence that creep up and surprise you, to me this might be the most violent imagery in the entire movie. And maybe it's just because it's something we see in the news these days of like people being beheaded with a knife, but it's just such a horrible reaction. Like you see that guy with the knife across Shorty's throat.
Yeah.
Like that's a
Yeah.
really, really
It is
dark
grim.
scene.
That's pretty dark.
You know,
Is
so
it
he has
dark?
to make sure that they believe him here. I'm okay, Short Round, but I'm just going to hang you over this massive pit of lava.
Really? Yeah. I'm saving you. Trust me.
Well, do you think Short Round is gonna spit in Indy's face?
You should.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. Like right there, it's almost like the exact same setup with him
Yeah.
and Willie.
Yeah.
Like he's about to spit in Indy's face.
That expression
know-
on Shorty's face, though, is one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen. Like just that look and his
Yeah.
look of horror. He just
When he's hanging over the lava.
Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
ah!
That's how you draw a scared face. That's not.
Yeah.
The mouth is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I am thinking that, clearly Indy has had a meteoric rise up the Temple of Doom hierarchy because the thuggy guards do obey his orders. He's
That's
like,
true.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, sure, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Mola Ram just introduced you and presented you.
Right. He's like the
Unless
bride
the
at
colleague,
this thing.
unless the colleague just makes you more like susceptible to following orders too.
Oh, maybe.
Like maybe if Shorty had barked a command at him, they would follow it.
They treat their foreign guests well. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Customer's always right.
I do like Indy's kind of pro wrestling move too, where he shakes his head like he's trying to clear his head.
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly what that is.
Very
WWF
Hulk
styling.
Hogan, yeah.
Yeah.
He's getting even stronger now. Look, he's beaten up. That's hysterical. He's gonna pile drive him. Well, that's all the notes I had. Does anybody else have anything? For what, 84?
Oh, wait a minute. This
what's
just
that,
in
Jerry?
from Professor Christy Porter.
Oh my God.
You two-faced ham hock. I thought the elephant was your best friend.
Well, it's a hierarchy. The elephant ditched him, so now he's back to Indy being his best friend.
The elephant's gone, so Indy might be the only one he's
Yeah.
got left.
Right. And it's English as a second language. Maybe he doesn't, best friend and best, like, he just tosses them around. They're meaningless.
Well, I'll say there's one thing that this minute has shown us, and we've discovered by doing this podcast, just, the three of us, I think, sometimes we need to burn our best friends.
It's true. Jerry, how many times have you and I taken torches to each other?
Yeah, exactly.
Over the years.
Because sometimes we need to burn our best friends for them to see the light, you know?
I think Facebook needs to add a little flame icon. You know, you got the thumbs up, the laughing smiley face, flame.
And it literally means like I'm reminding you that you're my best friend. I'm setting you on fire.
It literally
But
means
I will
I
hurt
love
you
you.
if needs be.
I love you. You're my best friend with the singe.
Oh boy. Well, on that note, Jamie, where can people get in touch with you, Jamie, and leave you flaming scorch marks of friendship?
If you check out at Jamie SWB on Twitter, that's a good place to start, I would say.
Excellent. I've done that. Everybody else should too. And Jer, where can people find us and leave us burn marks on our sides?
Oh, they do every day. The Indiana
Why do you
Jones,
remind them?
the Indiana Jones Minute Listeners Crusade, which is our Facebook singe place.
Yeah.
Needs some work, that title.
Yeah, needs some work. Yeah, come and we discuss all sorts of things: Raiders and Temple of Doom and evil guys and kids and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Deleted scenes.
It's a fun
everything.
place.
Yeah.
So visit us there, visit Jamie at his places, and please come back here for minute 85 of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom here at the Indiana Jones Minute.
I'm just going to go and burn some buddies.